Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today my boy Problematic has dropped another one, so we're going to check it out. This is Sober, Part 2. Let's dig in and see what's up.
What have I become? And why do I just smoke until it's done? The pain inside has got me fucking numb. I sobered up, but it was not enough. Why do I?
Sobering up's just the beginning, brother. Like, sobering up is where the work begins. It's the hardest part. Well, it's probably not going to be the hardest part. I ain't even going to lie to you. Sobering up's where the real work starts. That's where you start digging into the shadow and figuring out, why was I getting fucked up? And if you're not doing that, then you're doing it wrong, because you're going to fall back. You're going to go back to where you were if you're not doing your shadow work. The point of getting sober, the point of your soul driving you to get rid of the thing, is so that you can learn from the experience. And part of the learning from the experience is figuring out why you did the thing in the first place, right? What was it? And then acknowledging it and sitting in it and feeling it. Man, and it was terrible the way I was treated as a child. Keep it very general, right? It was terrible the way I was treated as a child. It is extremely unfair that I was treated that way. I did nothing to deserve it. I need to accept it. And so I forgive the people who hurt me. It's a process. It is not an automatic one and done thing. It is something that you're going to have to incorporate. Something that you're going to have to become second nature. You practice it so much. But if you take the time and you do the work, you will get there. It is possible. Everybody has a slightly different path to get there. If you would wonder how you could possibly find your path, I do have a playlist for that.
Smoke away my pain, cause deep inside I feel defeated. Dealing with these voices, I can't fight away my demons. It's been tug of war, we cannot come to an agreement. Lying to myself so I get higher on the weekend. Happy passed away and I did not go say goodbye. Living with remorse is simply eating me alive.
I feel you. Like, I let a family member keep me from my grandmother's deathbed, and that is some real stuff.
Lying in my bed, I'm asking God, please tell me why. I'm reaching for a bottle in the middle of the night. Pushing everyone away from me that loves me most. Look into my eyes, you could've swore I seen a ghost. 9 months I was clean, then I relapsed once again. I'm destined to be great, but I can never make amends.
I just told you what was going to happen, didn't I? And I can tell you the why. Right? I really can. And I wish, like, if I could do one thing with the entirety of my life, it would be to help every single person out there find their spot, right? Their thing that is hanging them up. It really would. It's not feasible. It's not practical. I'm not very good at a one-on-one situation, but I can tell you what's coming, because you're not digging in. You're not figuring out the why. You're not acknowledging it. You're not internalizing it. And I hate that. Like, I do.
I become, and why do I just smoke until it's done? The pain inside has got me fucking numb. I sobered up, but it was not enough. Why do I give in to my urges just to suffer from it later? Done with helping you because you won't return the favor. Find myself reacting all so often out of anger. Barely hanging on, I'm slowly sinking with this anchor. Searching for an answer, why ain't never in my peace? Neglected as a child, why did daddy had to leave? Haunted by my past, maybe
that's half the work, bro. You're halfway there.
I should let it be. Maybe I should write a novel for my pain and misery. I don't wanna die before my presence shall be known. Battling addiction, it is one hell of a road. Lord, can you forgive me of my sins and cleanse my soul? Roll another doobie just to balance out the lows. What have I become? And why do I
All right. Y'all make sure y'all get back over to my boy Problematic's page, give him a like, share, and a sub, throw him a comment, and let him know you appreciate what he is doing, because I do, right? It is so horribly predictable how relapse happens. You get it built up in your mind. It's like everything else. Like you build it up as, when I quit, everything's just going to be good, right? The thing that is really holding me back is the substance. That's what's really holding me back. It's got its claws in me. It's a disease, and it's holding me back. It's not letting me do what I want to do. And then when you finally make the choice to say, you know what, I've had enough of this shit. I'm not doing this anymore. My life is changing starting today. I'm going to let this go. You build up this expectation that everything's going to be good now. And it's not. It's about to get exponentially harder, because the forces that really want you to drink, those voices that talk in your head, they are real, right? And I'm not talking about the psychotic voices that you need to take medicine for, but I'm talking about the voices that are battling for your soul. You know the ones I'm talking about, and you can absolutely make the choice. But the temptation becomes greater. The path does not become easier. You have to put in work. You're halfway there with this song right here, and that's why I didn't interrupt it, because I wanted to talk about this here. You acknowledge, okay, my dad left. That's a big one, right? Abandonment is a big thing. You have to dig into that abandonment. You have to say, okay, why do I feel guilty about it? And understand that it's probably not you. Like, almost certainly there are exceptions. Some kids are, but most aren't, right? Most aren't. And so it was probably not you. It was probably something completely unrelated to you, but you still feel guilty about it. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that was the best possibility that could come out, because now you're in a place where you can look at these things objectively. Now you're in a timeline where you have chosen to get sober. And so you can look back on that and think, if they had stayed together, then that would have caused all kinds of different problems. Not to get in too far into speculation about what could have happened, but we have a tendency to romanticize these things. Well, if they would have just stayed together, my life would have been perfect. Everything would have been great. But you don't know the consequences of those choices and how it affected everything. Maybe if they had stayed together, you couldn't make the choice to get sober. That's a hard one to think about. Or maybe if they had stayed together, things had got exponentially worse. You have to learn to accept, okay, well, this was the choice that was made. These were the consequences that came from it. And this is where I feel my responsibility lies, right? This is your part to deal with. All the rest of that is not. You don't have anything to do with your parents' romantic life or their life views. You have you, and where you feel responsible. And you can go into the you. You can sit there with the you and say, okay, no, that's not fair to me. What happened was unfair. I should have had two parents that loved me. That should have happened. That is what should be, but it wasn't. And so I'm going to forgive them for making the choices that they felt were necessary. Maybe they were for the best, maybe they were for the worst. I don't know. But they happened. And there's nothing I can do about what has happened. I don't have to accept negativity going forward, but I no longer have to go back to my parents separating as a source for anxiety or depression in my life. This is not a simple one and done process. You're not going to do this once. You're going to have to recognize it. And when it starts coming, you're going to have to pray. I know that's going to touch some feelies for some people, but it is a real thing. God is, whether you believe in him or not, whatever particular flavor you believe in him or not, God is. And if you take it to prayer, if you get these things and you start thinking these things, you take it to him and be like, God, I know that this was not me. I know that this is not my burden to bear. I know that I had a lesson. I know that this was my burden to bear and this was my lesson for a completely different situation, right? But you take it to him and say, and I'm giving it back. I'm letting it go. And then do your best to not pick it up anymore. And every single time you think about it, do the same thing. Take it up in prayer. It doesn't have to hit your knees. Go in a closet. Sprinkle oil or water or any of that. Just a quick prayer. God, I'm turning this over to you again. And do it. It is hard. It takes practice, but it is possible. And that is how you start integrating this stuff. It was unfair what happened to you as a child. It was. It was unfair what happened to me as a child. It was. But it turned me where I am now. I am successful in the ways that I am successful because of the turmoil that I went through. And it took me a long time to get there. I say it all the time now, but it took years to internalize that. It is the path to happiness. It is the path to true redemption. And not in a spiritual sense. I'm talking about in a physical sense of putting down the substance for good. To getting to the point where you don't even think about the substance anymore. That's not only possible, it is likely if you do what I'm telling you to do. It's not immediate. Changing your trajectory is not immediate. I have a whole playlist. Infinite Integrations is a whole playlist on changing your perspective, on learning to integrate things, on learning to figure out what your particular problems are. This was great. Y'all make sure y'all get back over to my boy Problematics page. Give me a like, share, and a sub. If you like what I'm doing, do the same for me. Give me a like, share, and a sub. Throw me a comment. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you don't. Let me know where you don't. I'm here for the discussion. If you really like what I'm doing, hit me with the super thanks. It will be greatly appreciated. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt's Take. Peace.